Here with JP. Now I'm wearing the Jordan shirt because I am a huge Jordan fan. Okay, it didn't matter what you did. I was like, no, it's the right move. He's doing the right thing. Going on the block, everybody's like, oh, he's such an idiot. No, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So you definitely had the community's support. What went wrong?
You know what, Murtz? I just had a bad week. I think that in life sometimes we have bad weeks, and mine just happened to be on national television. So I think, I had a rough go with it. I made one. I trusted the wrong guy. I shouldn't have trusted Zach as much as I did. I was willing to put my game on the line for him. He wasn't willing to put his game on the line for me, and now I understand that, hey, I don't hold that against him. He had to do what was best for him, and I misread the situation. Going into that week, everything had gone right for me. I hadn't really faced any adversity, and I think that kind of skewed my judgment and what I was thinking in the house. And I went in there thinking, I'm a super fan. I really want to play this game hard. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest players ever. How epic would it be if I volunteered myself to go up on the block and I throw this veto competition? Zach saves me. I still get safe, and we get rid of a huge threat, Bobby or Bruno. This is going to look so good. I'm still going to be in the game. Everything's going to be awesome. Misread the situation. Zach doesn't use the veto on me. I still think, okay, well, I should still be safe. Zach and I both thought we had the votes. Clearly we didn't, and that's why I got voted out. So pretty crazy.
Now, this is what killed me, Jordan. I was your staunchest defender, but even I had to say this guy is playing to the camera by volunteering to go on the block, Is that how you felt, and do you regret that move? Because I genuinely felt like you're sitting in a pretty good spot, no reason to. Yes, you celebrated, I get it, and you wanted to, throw attention off of that, I get it. But and I know, there's no reason to go on the block. That's like rule number one. Yeah. So do you feel like your desire to play to the camera hurt your game?
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's like I said, I want to be remembered as one of the greatest players that ever played this game. And I'm an idiot for thinking that. And that's the problem. We talked about this in our interview earlier. And that is that I got so caught up in just wanting to do something and play the game and make some epic, crazy move, and then blew up in my face. So there was no reason to do it. I think and also too, what happened was that Zach and I at the point in the game were kind of tied to everybody in some aspect, and so I didn't want him to get any blood on his hands. I felt like I let him down by not winning that HOH, so I felt like I owed him one. I felt like, hey, you know what? You need a pawn? I'll do it. This will be fine. And obviously, that's not how it turned out. So I would definitely not recommend anybody ever doing that. But really, if Cindy doesn't come back in the game, if Zach does, Zach uses the veto on me, completely different game. Zach has told me he would have used the veto if Cindy did not come back, and also to another thing, if Cindy was not necessarily going to be able to vote. So if Cindy wasn't able to vote, right, tie 4-4. I've heard all those guys said they were going to abandon the plan. I'd be safe. So really, just every single variable, every single thing went wrong. So yes, it's an incredibly stupid move, dumbest move in the history of Big Brother Canada, and I can admit that. I just think that everything really everything went wrong that week. And
I don't think just that. I feel like you had a pretty roller coaster ride. Like you go in, you're like literally owning the game with Newport. There was a time where I don't think anybody wasn't picking you or Zach to win. When it was like riding high, he's got the chop shop, you've got the girls. The plan was so good on paper. And then everything basically went wrong. From there, you get into the showmans. Then Cindy evicts you. Then you get evicted out of the jury. I was talking to a lot of people last night, and I'm like, this guy probably had 3 seasons in one. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I kind of got the whole experience with it, really. I had this start of the game where we're running the house, and then I have this other experience in which everything crumbles in front of me. My showmance votes me out. Then I have the jury house and that whole experience, and you guys saw how that unfolded. The whole Cindy relationship, it was crazy. I don't know how it got portrayed on the show. And then I get voted out of the jury. I'm in there for 35 days, 5 weeks, just to find out that I don't really have a vote in the end, and I was there for nothing. So
5.5 weeks.
Yeah, for nothing. Again, it sucked, but you know what? It's part of the game. As a super fan, I'm honored that I'm the first person ever to be voted out of the jury. So it was cool. And you're right. It sort of was like 3 seasons in one.
What was it like sort of taking that walk? I was just like, man, at least give him the jury. Don't make him walk to the first 4. You seemed okay with it. I honestly felt like me and your mom took it harder than you did.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't that hurt by it. It made the most sense. Obviously, Big Brother Canada, they're going to throw those twists at you. And as a super fan of the game, I think it's fair for the person who finished in the lowest place to be kicked out of the jury. So you know what? I didn't take any offense to it. And you know what? It's all part of the experience. I owned it. Was it a little upsetting? Sure. But at the end of the day, it's a game. It didn't really bother me too much.
All right. Now let's get down to business, okay? First season, Gary comes back in the house, and whenever, I remember I yelled at AJ, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? How can you vote for somebody that was, like, evicted who came back in and sailed to Final Two? Similarly, I found your vote very interesting. I was like, if one guy is going to vote for Godfrey, it's going to be JP. JP is going to understand that he was, like, playing both sides, that he was, like, losing on purpose, that he, like, literally controlled the game without controlling it. And yet you voted for Cindy, somebody who benefited from the coup d'etat twist where Brittany got to replace Ashley's nominations. I have to know your justification for that vote, because I definitely called your vote wrong.
Okay, well, you know what, and that's why maybe that's perhaps it's a good reason I got evicted from the jury. I think there's a huge disconnect from what Godfrey was doing in the game and from what the jury saw. Because and also too, I honestly think the 12th place person should not be on the jury, because I was in the game 5 weeks ago. When I was in the game, Godfrey was sleeping. He was doing not really a ton. Yes, he flipped the house on me, but after that, he had one of the greatest veto speeches of all time, saying, I want all this blood on these hands, and I'm coming for you, Zach, and all this stuff. And then he kind of just faded back into the background, which, hey, that was a really smart move now that I'm hearing some more stuff, because, everyone was like, oh, Godfrey's he's going to go at Zach, when really he didn't have to, because everybody else was doing it anyway for him. So looking back at what happened, I think Sarah did play a good enough game to garner my vote.
Tell me more about that.
I think because, what Sarah did, she just got to know people so well on a personal level. She had all of these great relationships with all of us, Kevin, myself, Willow. She was willing to cut Brittany. I mean, all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, she was willing to cut all of us to do whatever it takes to win the game. And also, sure, her neck was on the line a lot in this game. Early on, people wanted Sarah up on the block. She was in on that conversation when Kevin was in the bathroom. She somehow gets out of that situation. She loses her closest allies, Neha and Johnny, very early on in the game. She gets nominated against him. Bruno, probably, in my opinion, one of the best players of the season, is gunning for her every single week, somehow manages to escape by. Everybody knows how good a player Sarah is, yet they still don't go after her. So I think that deserved my vote, and I stand behind my decision. I need to watch this season, though. I need to see more of what Godfrey did, because to be honest, Murtz, I don't think I got the full view of what Godfrey Mancuiza, the Lady Please, did this season.
We're going to have to wrap things up. Definitely we're going to have a longer interview, I'm sure. But I have to thank Jordan for all the shout-outs on the live feeds. I literally recorded every single one. They are playing on a loop. I can't wait to send it to you. And I'm also inviting Jordan, because you mentioned it on the feeds, to be in my draft next season.
Yes!
Yes, where, by the way, I may have lost Jillian. You will not believe Jillian's team. You will not believe it. She basically had the final four, okay? But I did have Sarah, so I did call the winner. So I take solace in that. Yes, you were my first pick, by the way. Yes. Okay, yes. Jordan, thank you so much.
I'm honored, Murtz.
All right.
Thank you.